Bonjour, my name is Alex. I got a grade 9 at GCSE French, and today I'm going to do a walkthrough of the Edexcel Higher Writing paper from 2022. The paper and mark scheme is linked in the description. I'll spend, hopefully, the full hour going through each question and explaining how to answer it. D'accord, on y va. Alright. Section A. Read Emily's blog about work. Mon petit job dans un magasin me plaît beaucoup. So mon petit job is just part-time job. PD. Dans un magasin, me plaît beaucoup. So me plaît beaucoup is just, it pleases me a lot. So in other words, she's happy. So that's positive. Car je m'entends très bien avec mes collègues. So je m'entends très bien means I get on well with. Avec mes collègues. So like with her colleagues. Le problème, so negative, et que je dois me lever de bonne heure. So this is a negative. So if it's asking for an advantage, then this is certainly not it. And this may catch people out because this is a false friend. Bonne heure. So people could be like, oh, you get to wake up at a good hour. No. Bonne heure in French means getting up early. So this is negative. So the fact that she has to get up early. Parce que le travail commence le travail commence assez tôt, which means quite early. L'avantage, so this is where it's positive, c'est que j'ai l'après-midi de libre. So libre means free. So if we connect the two words together, afternoon and free, it's like she gets the afternoon free. So, à l'avenir, je voudrais trouver un métier dans le monde du théâtre. So, in the world of like theater. So that just means like in the theatrical industry. À l'avenir, je voudrais trouver un métier. Un métier is just another word for job. Car je pense qu'on peut gagner beaucoup d'argent. So, because you can make a lot of money. Il faut persuader mes parents qui disent que beaucoup d'actrices sont au chômage. So, we have to persuade our parents that say that lots of actresses are au chômage, which is at unemployment. So, why does Emily, moving on to the questions. Why does Emily like working in a shop? So, if you go back to why is she happy working at the shop? Me plaît beaucoup. So this is why she's happy. Then car shows the explanation. Meaning this has to be what makes her happy. And it's je m'entends très bien avec mes collègues. So because why does Emily like working in a shop? Because she gets on well with her colleagues. Okay, what is the advantage of her working hours? So again, we see the keyword advantage, and then second is an explanation. So then we know that it has to be this. J'ai l'après-midi de libre. So it's because she gets the afternoon free. Why are Emily's parents unhappy with her choice of future career? So, il faut persuader mes parents qui disent que... So, the fact that she needs to persuade them means the parents dislike the career, okay? So, and the reason qui disent, because they say that lots of actresses are employed. Because it's a fact that of actresses are unemployed. Okay, moving on. So, Lisa is missing. Her father talks to a police officer. Aujourd'hui, ma fille, Lisa, n'est pas rentrée de l'école comme d'habitude. So, she has not returned, she has not came back from school as like usual. On ne comprend pas. We don't understand. D'abord, Jeanne, so at the beginning, d'abord, that means like at the beginning, Jeanne n'était pas inquiète. So she was not worried. Car elle a pensé que ma fille était chez sa copine. Because he thought that the dad's daughter, like the dad is speaking, was at the girlfriend, like her friends. So, Jeanne est votre femme, monsieur? Demande le policier. So, is Jeanne your wife? Says the police officer. Non, ma femme est partie il y a 6 mois. So, the dad's here. His wife has left him 6 months ago. Jean, c'est la jeune femme qui s'occupe de Lisa. So, Jane is just like the nanny, you could say, that takes care of Lisa, like jusqu'à mon retour. So like until he comes back, until the dad comes back from work or whatever he has. Le soir. Depuis le départ de ma femme, so départ, like departing. So when the wife left, je dois aller à des dîners d'affaires, so like business dinners. Et je ne suis pas. So je ne suis pas means that he's not often at his home, okay? He's not, the ne pas changes the meaning. It's now he's not often rather than he's often at his. So, what unusual thing did Lisa do today? So, comme d'habitude, so the fact it says comme d'habitude means the usual thing. So, the fact that she hasn't came back from school like usual, means that the fact she hasn't come back from school is unusual, if that makes sense. So it's the fact that she hasn't come back from school. Okay, where did Jean think Lisa was? So then keyword think. So if you look for the keyword think as well, it's à penser. So this again links it, and we know that here is the detail of which the question asking, where did he think? Because he thought that his girl was wherever. So était chez sa copine. So at her friend's home. Okay. When did Lisa's mother leave? So est parti il y a 6 mois. So il y a means ago in French, so 6 months ago. How would you describe the life of Lisa's father since her mother left? So if we go to the last end of the text, where he talks about the father's life, where he has to go to business dinners, and the fact that he's not often at his means that he has to be. The fact he's not often at his means that, he obviously, the reason for this means, he must have a lot going on to cause it. Like, the fact he's not at home means that he hasn't got a lot of free time, which means that he must be very busy if he has no free time. So, I'd say busy. Alright, moving on. Hotel review. Dès notre arrivée, so like from our arrival, from the beginning of our arrival, nous avons eu de nombreux problèmes. Nombreux is just like multiple. And then problem, you could obviously get it, it's problems. So d'abord, at the beginning, l'ascenseur, elevator, était en panne. En panne is just broken. Et on a dû, past tense of devoir, which is to have to, so we had to monter, so like go up the 7 étages à pied, so 7 levels on foot. La chaleur dans la chambre était insupportable parce que la climatisation ne fonctionnait pas. So la climatisation is air conditioning. So the fact that the heat of the room was so bad because the air conditioning wasn't working suggests that it's because it was too hot and not too cold, because the air conditioning is causes the temperature to go down. In fact, that doesn't work, means you can't physically get the temperature down, which suggests it's too high. So, yeah, continuing, dans la salle de bain, la douche ne marchait pas, so it didn't work. And il n'y avait pas, so there was no toilet paper, and the shower didn't work. Et les serviettes de bain étaient vraiment sales, and like the towels were very dirty. Okay, nous avions réservé une chambre avec vue sur la mer. So they reserved a room with a sea view. Mais, but, which suggests that has not happened, because it's a negative. La nôtre était sur la route principale. So, route principale is like the first road, like literally, which is like suggests the main road. À cause du bruit incessant, it's like the incessant noise de la circulation, so the traffic. Ma femme, so his wife, n'a pas pu dormir de la nuit. So could not sleep through the night. Like could not sleep in the night. So what problem did the customers have getting to their room? So, the fact that the elevator was broken, right? Because that stopped them from getting to their room. They had to go by foot instead. What was the problem with the room temperature? So, back to the fact that the air conditioning was broken, means that they had no means of turning it down, turning temperature down, so it must mean that it was too hot. And what was missing in the bathroom? So the douche was still there, it just didn't work, and the towels were still there, they were just dirty. So it was the papier hygiénique, which is toilet paper, because il n'y avait pas, there was none of it. So, toilet paper. Right, moving on. What view did the customers have from the room? So this could catch people out because nous avions réservé une chambre avec vue sur la mer. So people could be like, oh, sea view. Mais, if there's always a conjunction, keep on but. So this just says like it has not happened. La nôtre était sur la route principale. So it's actually the main road was their view. So what additional problem was there at night? So, à cause du bruit incessant de la circulation. So the traffic noise was the problem. Alright. Next question. Nous n'avons pas tout de suite été amis. So, tout de suite is just at the start. So, they weren't immediately. Oh, God. So, they weren't immediately friends, but they always known each other. They always knew, like, remarqué. They've always, like, it was a familiar face. Like, they always knew who each other were. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes comme des sœurs. So they're like sisters. They're such good friends. They know each other so well. They're like sisters. And this is a simile. They're not actually sisters. They're like sisters because they're so close to each other. C'est avec Léa que j'ai passé mes premières vacances sans nos parents. So they spent the holidays together without their parents. C'est à Léa que j'ai envoyé mon premier texto. So the first text was to her. Si je ne sais pas quoi faire, c'est elle qui me conseille. So, like, for advice, she always looks to her if she doesn't know. Certains élèves sont toujours sûrs de. So, sûr de, people could get caught out as to what that means. Whenever you're in doubt, just try translate everything, like, literally, and then you can kind of logically make your way to the correct. So, sûr de. So, literally, it means sure of themselves. So if you're sure of themselves, then you could probably infer that they are confident, self-assured, etc. So, moi, j'ai toujours été très timide. Timide, obviously, she was right. Timid, shy. Je n'ai aucune idée de ce que je vais faire dans la vie. So, aucune idée de faire dans la vie. She didn't know what to do in life. Mais si une vieille dame a besoin de quelqu'un pour porter ses sacs lourds au supermarché, ou si quelqu'un est perdu dans la rue, c'est moi qui les aide. Okay, so, if une vieille dame, old lady, a besoin de quelqu'un, needs someone, pour porter, to carry, sac lourd, sac, bag, lourd, heavy bags, au supermarché, ou si quelqu'un est perdu dans la rue, c'est moi qui les aide. So, she helps people that, like, are in need. It's like if someone's lost in the road, or if someone like needs help with, if old ladies need help with heavy bags, etc. So, Camille and Leah are not neighbors, right? Not sisters, right? They're like sisters because of how close they are, but they're not actually sisters. They're friends, and not cousins either. Camille and Leah, so lived near each other. No, nothing. They didn't say anything about living, contact each other daily. They did say something about texting. There was nothing about, like, it was just their first text, not, like, daily, like, chatting. Went away together, right? Because remember, they went on holiday, like, without their parents, had lots of problems, nothing mentioned on that. Alright. Camille thinks some pupils are unhappy. So remember, I was talking about the sûr, what was it? The, like, sûr de. So obviously, like, we were talking about how confident. So it's obviously not that. I mean, some people could get caught out because it said that she herself était très timide, was shy. But that's not representative of the pupils, that's just herself. So it's self-assured, right? Because she thought some pupils were sûrs d'eux. And then Camille, so has no future plans. That's the correct one. Why? Because she said, je n'ai aucune idée de ce que je vais faire dans la vie. I mean, people could get caught out by, like, the helping at the supermarket, carrying the, like, old ladies, or helping, like, people get lost, working, I mean, but that's not actually what she wanted to do. That's just said, like, if people need help. It's not like, I want to do this in the future. Okay, so judging by the fact that she helps old ladies and, like, people that get lost, she's obviously very helpful. Right. So, yeah, moving on. Read the article. Clément habitait en ville avant, mais maintenant, il habite en pleine campagne. So she lives in the countryside. L'air n'est pas du tout pollué. So people could see tout, which is, like, everything. So, like, all polluted, tout pollué, but it says n'est pas du. So, not at all polluted. But, il y a un manque, so a lack, de transport en commun, so of public transport and distractions. Hélène pense que les gens utilisent trop leur voiture et que celle-ci pollue l'atmosphère. So it thinks that trop is always, like, usually negative, like, whenever something's excessive. Like, it's always usually negative, like in English as well. So, trop leur voiture. So she thinks that people are using their cars too much et que celle-ci, which pollutes l'atmosphere. Elle souhaite avoir des pistes cyclables dans sa ville. So she wants to have, like, bike pistes in her town. Guillaume habite tout près d'un lac. So tout près, like really close d'un lac. Et la pollution de l'eau est un vrai problème. So, yeah, problème. So yeah, whenever it says problème, it's usually negative. Il a été si triste. So si triste is like so sad de voir des ordures. So ordures is waste, quand il a fait un pique-nique. So qu'il est retourné. So he returned avec ses copains, with his friends, to clean that place. So he was so upset by seeing this when he was doing a picnic, he returned to clean that place. Prudence travaille actuellement dans le centre-ville et utilise toujours les transports en commun. So he lives in the center and he always uses public transport. We know always because of toujours. À cause du prix, so à cause du is always negative in French. À cause du prix élevé des billets, so elevated price of tickets, elle achètera bientôt un vélo. So she will soon buy a bike to save money on the public transport. Okay, trois quarts de jeunes, so quart is quarter, and trois. So 3/4 des jeunes français pensent que la pollution est le plus grand. In fact, it is plus grand. It's like the more big. So it's like the biggest problem du monde. So 3/4 think it's the biggest problem. However, les plus de 10 ans, so the people that are 18 years old and above, ne sont pas d'accord, disagree. For them, c'est la sécheresse en Afrique, so that's drought. Sécheresse is drought. You can kind of get that from sèche, which means dry. So if you sécheresse, you can kind of get dryness, which you could, like, link to drought. Logically. Alright. Who hopes to save money by doing something differently? So if you remember, it was the guy who was talking about, like, biking because the elevated prices of the public transport were too high. So the fact that he's biking means he doesn't need to pay for the public transport anymore. So he'll be saving money. So that was... Who was the biker guy? Prudence. So Prudence hopes to save money by doing something differently. Who is concerned about traffic pollution? So that is Helen, right? Because he's talking about cars and they think that too much cars would cause too much traffic pollution. Like, we know that this is not Guillaume because he's talking about water pollution, right? Pollution de l'eau. And Prudence obviously is not talking about pollution. Well, he's talking about pollution, but in, like, a grand context of the young people in France. So it's obviously not her. And then Clément is talking about having no pollution, so it's obviously Helen. By the way, if you're stuck on anything in reading and you've got no clue, just try and like do a process of elimination. So it can't be that, it can't be that. That should get you to the right answer usually. Alright, who helped to clean a polluted area? So that was the guy that returned, remember? To clean that waste, that was Guillaume. Right, who lives in a clean air zone? So it's Clément. Because remember, he had no pollution whatsoever. From pas du tout pollué. If there's no pollution, obviously, that suggests that it's a clean area. So what proportion of young French people worry about pollution? So that was 3/4. Thought that it was the biggest problem. And according to the survey, what are over 18s most concerned about? So that was read the internet article. Ok. On voit des peintures et des dessins partout à Dakar. Sur les ponts et les cars. So, we see paintings and designs partout, which is, like, literally means through everything. So, obviously, you can infer the meaning and get, like, everywhere. So, like, these paintings and designs are everywhere. And then, sur les ponts et les cars. Pont is bridges and the car. I mean, people could have... that's a false friend as well. Car, in French, is like a bus, not actually a car like in English. Il y a même des quartiers en ville où les habitants demandent aux artistes de dessiner des images sur leur maison. So, the quartier is just like certain areas of the town. It's like you could think boroughs in London. Où les habitants demandent aux artistes, where they like ask artists to design their own houses. Dans les pays européens, so in European countries, les graffitis ne sont pas. So because of the pas, right, it makes it negative, so not allowed. But, so that means that it's the opposite. Ils n'ont jamais été interdits au Sénégal. They are not. Ils n'ont jamais. So never, jamais is never. So never, interdit. So never forbidden in Senegal. In other words, it is permitted in Senegal. So, plusieurs groupes d'artistes existent à Dakar. Et ce sont normalement des hommes. So, other artistic groups exist at Dakar, and they are normally men. So, right, des hommes, normalement, which is why we get normally, so, or often, usually, etc. Des hommes, which is man. Cependant, Fatou est une fille qui fait du street art et des dessins pour les droits des femmes. So, droits des femmes. Again, this is like, you may not actually know this phrase off by heart, like you may have not drilled it through you for Quizless, but you can kind of get it through common sense. Like, rights of, like, les droits literally means rights. So, rights of women. Like, you kind of get the answer through, like, literal just working it out, literally. So, she does the designs for women's rights. On peut voir un de ces dessins devant le centre culturel. So, we can see one of these designs devant. This is key, in front of. So it's not actually in the cultural center, but in front of. Quand elle était petite, elle rêvait d'être une artiste célèbre. So elle rêvait is she used to dream. D'être a celebrity artist. Elle ne dépensait pas. So she did not spend her money, pocket money, on makeup. So she did not. But, which suggests that the next thing will be something she did spend her money on. So continue reading, which will... Elle l'utilisait, so she used it pour acheter du matériel d'art. So she actually used it for buying art material. Okay, les graffitis permettent, so graffiti allows, aux artistes de faire passer des messages importants. So, like, pass important messages that touches on la santé, health, ou la protection de l'environnement. So, protection of the environment to inhabitants of Dakar. Alright. So, put across. So, Dakar street artists only decorate certain areas. So, that's obviously false. Because it says partout. So, the fact they're allowed to that their designs everywhere suggests they're actually allowed to decorate everywhere, not in certain areas. So, that's wrong. Street artists often decorate houses for people. That is correct. Because, remember, it was like even, like, inhabitants ask artists to design their images of their house. So the fact people are doing this means that often, yeah, people decorate, like, they decorate houses. Graffiti is allowed in Europe. That is wrong. Remember, graffiti was prohibited in Europe but allowed in Senegal. Yeah. Street artists in Dakar are usually male. Yep, that's right, because it was like normalement homme. And Fatou paints about women's rights. Yep. And then there's an art exhibition in the cultural center. Remember, that is wrong, because it was in front of, not actually in it. And most street artists in Dakar are famous. No, it didn't really say. It said that it's the only thing that you could have get that answer from was the fact that she wanted to be a celebrity artist when she was younger. But nothing about actual street artists being famous. So how did Fatou spend her pocket money? Remember, art material. She didn't. Elle n'a pas dépensé sa argent sur le maquillage. But art material. Was graffiti important for people? It was like pass important messages on issues like health, etc. Health, protection of the environment, etc. Alright. Section B. Odile travaille pour 2 organisations qui aident les autres depuis 4 ans. So, helping people for 4 years. Elle donne souvent de la soupe. So, she often gives la soupe aux gens qui n'ont pas d'argent pour acheter à manger. The gens is people qui n'ont pas, so do not have money to buy food. Elle aime, so elle aime means she likes. So she likes to discuter, to discuss avec ces gens pour comprendre leur situation, to understand the situation. So they work from Monday to Friday. So she works from Monday to Friday comme secrétaire. Elle travaille aussi le week-end sans salaire. So on the weekends, because she's sans salaire on the weekends, it means she's like a volunteer. Et samedi dernier, elle a préparé des cartons. So she prepared cartons avec du savon, soap, and dentifrice, which is toothpaste, pour les pauvres, so for poor people. Continuing, pendant ses dernières vacances, elle a nettoyé les chambres dans un centre pour personnes âgées. So, because pendant ses dernières, so the fact is dernière means her last holidays. That's in the past. She cleaned her rooms in a certain center for the elderly. And cet été, so that means this summer. So the fact it's this summer means it's going to be the future. The upcoming summer. So she's going to prepare meals at the center. Alright. So Odile travaille bénévolement. So, like, does voluntary work. Depuis quelques années, right? Because she's been doing it 4 years. And the fact is 4 years can't mean it's days, weeks, or months, but years, right? So, elle aime. Remember, it was like, elle aime discuter. So, bavarder is just a synonym of discuter. So, it's bavarder. And Odile est... So, pauvre, no, she's helping poor people. She's not actually poor herself. Timide, I doubt it, because she's helping all these people. And gentille, yes, right, because she's going out of her way to help people. So, she's obviously very kind. Okay. En semaine, elle travaille comme, so remember, lundi en, so obviously, semaine is just a week. So on weekdays, she works as well. So it said, and obviously, lundi au vendredi, in between that is the week. So in that week, je travaille comme secrétaire. So it must mean that during weekdays, she works as a secretary. Right, cet été, so remember, it's not the past, but it's the future. So cet été, elle va, not the one in the past, which could catch people out. So elle va faire la cuisine, right? Because she's making meals. So in other words, the fact that she's making meals means she's cooking. So faire la cuisine, right? Because you have to cook to make the meals. Alright, lycée commentaire. Les colonies de vacances. So in other words, summer camps. Alright, Damien. J'ai de bons souvenirs inoubliables. So good. So the fact that there's bon and inoubliable suggests that this is a good experience for Damien. So souvenir means memories. D'une colonie de vacances. So of a summer camp by the sea. Où j'ai fait de la voile. Where he did sailing. So en août, je vais à un camp. So en août, so in August, I go to a camp to improve my languages. Right. Bernadette. Mes expériences ont été malheureuses. So yeah, mal. So the fact that there's mal. So you could, malheureusement, which is unfortunately. If you just cut out the mot, it's malheureuse. So it's, in other words, unfortunate. So this is a negative experience for her. Because, you could think it's a positive thing because it says heureuse. But no, malheureuse is unfortunate. It was in a specialized camp. C'était dans des camps spécialisés pour apprendre l'anglais et l'espagnol. So it was in a specialized camp to learn English and Spanish. Des matières dures pour moi. So, dur is hard. So, hard subjects for me. Lucien. J'attends avec impatience d'aller à un stage d'art dramatique où nous allons faire une comédie musicale. So, again, people could think this is negative because impatience, which is like impatient. See, people could think that's bad because the fact that he's impatient. However, he's impatient to go there. So, in other words, he doesn't want to wait a while. He really wants to go now. He can't afford to wait any longer to go. He wants to go that instant. And the fact he wants to go almost instantaneously shows that he's looking forward to this. So that's positive. And then je suis allé à ma première colonie, so my first camp, pour jouer au jeu d'équipe, to play team games. C'était plutôt désagréable. So plutôt is just quite. Désagréable, unpleasant. People could think that can change the meaning, but it's just quite. So it's just reinforcing the idea. So quite unpleasant. It doesn't actually change the meaning. Je préfère le stage de musique. So she prefers musical camps to these team game camps she was doing. Okay. So who did a new activity? So let's check. So it wasn't Damien. It was Marie, right? Because it was her first camp. So the fact that this camp is an activity and it's her first one shows it's a new experience for her. So so who adore faire du théâtre? Okay, so that is obviously Lucien, right? Because he's so excited, he's impatient to go. He's so excited to do this theatrical. D'art dramatique is theatre, basically. So he's so excited to do this theatrical thing, which suggests how he's really passionate and he loves this. So that is Lucien. And he who finds languages difficult, so obviously it's Bernadette, right? Because he says, because l'anglais, l'espagnol are languages which she says are hard for her. So the fact that she finds these languages hard suggests that, in general, she finds languages hard. So, Bernadette. Next. Déteste les colonies de vacances sportives. So that was the person, déteste les colonies de... So that was... déteste les colonies de vacances sportives. So, jeu d'équipe is just team sports, right? So, that is Mary again. Because she said plutôt désagréable. So, obviously, she did not like it. In other words, she hated it. Then, who spent their holidays close to the beach. So obviously, the fact that Damien was able to do sailing, and what means that he must have been close to the sea, as it says, au bord de la mer. And the fact he was close to the sea must mean that he was close to a beach, right? So, D. Next. Alright. Question 9. Lis cette page web. La fête de la fraise. So, the strawberry festival qui a lieu, which takes place le deuxième dimanche, so the second Sunday of the month of May, will celebrate its 30 years dans la ville de Beaulieu. So, in the town of Beaulieu. I mean, this could like stump some people because banlieue is suburbs. But in this case, it's of Beaulieu, so of the town of the suburbs. Like, that doesn't make sense. So it has to be the name of the place. Il y aura des événements dans plusieurs endroits. So there will be events in other areas of the town, which will be closed to cars from 9 to 5. You'll have the choice of 3 parkings. On aura le choix entre 3 parkings. Nord à la piscine, so north of the town, pool, and the stadium. So, à ne pas manquer. So again, this is a false friend. Like, manquer, you could be like, manquer, to miss. So you could be like, oh, to miss the principal attraction. But no, à ne pas manquer. So it's like not to miss in English. So it's a not miss situation, you have to go. So this is in fact something you have to go to and a great thing to see, not a negative. So that is at la place de la mairie. So the mairie is town hall, and at la place is square. So the town hall square, où se trouvera, where they'll find la plus grande, so the biggest tarte aux fraises du monde, strawberry tart, like, of the world. And dans le jardin public, you can public garden. Il y aura 3 marchés. So 3 markets qui vendront non seulement, so you could be looking like seulement, so only strawberries, but no, because it's non seulement, it's not only strawberries, but also other things like the fruits of the region, vegetables, eggs, and honey. Alright. Then, pour les enfants, il y aura une zone spéciale, so a special zone for them, avec des divertissements différents, so just different entertainment. On pourra faire un pique-nique, so picnic, au bord de la rivière, so by the river. Tout en regardant, so tout en is just while. So tout en regardant, while watching, une exposition de voitures anciennes. So une exposition is just a rally, like an old car rally, if that makes sense. Okay. Depuis combien de temps cette fête existe-t-il? So, the fact that it's celebrating its 30th anniversary must mean that it's been around for 30 years. So it's existed for 30 years. So the fact is, en français is pourquoi les gens devront garer leur voiture au nord de la ville? So remember, it was because les événements. It was because dans les endroits because the events in the town would be closed to cars. So then that means you can only park your car in those areas, because you can't actually use your car to access it. Because you can't go there to park it elsewhere. So, sont fermées les voitures. Okay, qu'est-ce qu'il faudra voir sur la place de la mairie? So remember, it was le plus grand tarte aux fruits. So, the fruit tart, right? Le tarte aux fruits. Où seront les 3 marchés? So that was dans le jardin public, il y aura. So in the public garden, there will be. In the public garden, there will be. So, dans le jardin public. And quelle attraction spéciale y aura-t-il près de la rivière? So, remember it was like, obviously so there was two activities, right, by the river. The picnic and the exposition de voitures, so the car rally. So obviously the picnic is not the special one, it's the car rally. So, and to put that into French, right, because it's asking in French, exposition de voitures anciennes. Alright, finally, section C. So, je suis élève. So, in other words, I am a student. Dans une petite école, in a small school. Small, petite école mixte, so small mixed school. Sorry about that. Qui est près de ma maison? Which is close, because qui is which, to my house. Je trouve, so I find, les PS, so PE, fatigant, tiring. Mais, but, malheureusement, unfortunately, c'est obligatoire. It's obligatory, it's compulsory. And then, today, I did a maths and physics exam. Right? Examen en maths et en physique. I mean, some people could get stumped by the fact that it's physique, which can imply, like, oh, physical education, but no, physique is just physics. Et je pense que je vais échouer. So, je vais échouer is the simple future, so it's just, I am going. I think that I'm going to fail. Tense change. I'm going to fail. Je ne veux pas redoubler. Redoubler is to repeat the year. So, I don't to repeat the car, so because redoing l'année scolaire, the school year, et ennuyeux is boring. Okay guys, that's the full paper done. I've put the mark scheme on the screen for each question, so you can see where I've gone wrong. I hope this video has helped you revise for the reading paper. Any questions, just leave a comment. Au revoir les gars.